Good evening and welcome to Prime Edition. Tomorrow is the Battle of Titans as Azimio and Kwanza take each other on a test as members of Parliament are being sworn in and most importantly elect their speakers and deputy speakers for the next 5 years. Welcome to Prime Edition, and of course I'll not be doing this alone. Moving forward, let me introduce my new partner. That is Regina.
Thank you very much, JJ. Glad to join you. Yes, indeed. This is how it's going to be. As you say, it may be a patriarchal society, but the future is female. Looking at even the composition of the Senate going forward, 3 female senators already, now making a total of 21. What can I say? It will be an interesting 5 years, this coming 5 years. And of course, our eyes are in the Senate and National Assembly tomorrow. We shall also be giving you exclusive coverage of the events tomorrow. But here is a sneak preview of our stories tonight. It is Moses Wetangula versus Kenneth Marende. Parties to face off for the National Assembly Speaker's seat on Thursday as the 13th Parliament convenes. In the interest of country, President-elect and outgoing leader hold conversation. And head held high. Education CS Professor George Magoha says he will be leaving a mark in the education sector upon his exit. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Byron Abuli is a sign language interpreter. And of course, later we shall be joined by Carol Jenga taking us up with business, as well as Richard Munga with the sports. Now, tonight, the Kwanza Alliance has formally agreed to front Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula and immediate former Kilifi Governor Amason Jeffa Kingi as National Assembly Speaker and Senate Speaker, respectively. Uasin Gishu Woman Representative Gladys Boshole will deputize Wetangula, while Meru Senator Kadhuri Moronge will deputize Kingi. The elections for speakers and deputy speakers will be held this Thursday when the 13th Parliament convenes for the first time. The 2 chambers of Parliament will be convening Thursday after President Uhuru Kenyatta gazetted the 8th of September as the date of a swearing in of all members of Parliament. Once more, President-elect William Ruto and Azimio leader Raila Odinga, backed by outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta, will be flexing their muscle as each side seeks to gain control over the 2 houses.
We undertook to the people of Kenya that we want to create a team that carries the face of Kenya as we look into the leadership of our country.
While Azimio appears to have a slight advantage going by the agreements signed by its affiliated political parties, the coalition is staring at stiff competition from Kenya Kwanza, which has already raided its house. The Pamoja Africa Alliance, PA, Maendeleo Chap, United Democratic Movement UDM, Movement for Democracy and Growth MDG, the GDDP Party, and the National Agenda Party of Kenya, all legally signed under Azimio, have shifted allegiance to Kenya Kwanza. The Kenya Kwanza Alliance is also enjoying support from 10 of the 12 MPs elected on an independent ticket.
Our intention is to bake a bigger cake, enough for all of us to share. That's our plan.
And you have told us that you want to continuously engage with elected leaders, and your meetings will be conducted in the decorum and respect, so that leaders can inform you of what wananchi are saying, and you can also be able to engage them.
With the Kenya Kwanza Alliance entitled to 7 nomination slots in the National Assembly and 9 slots in the Senate, the Alliance has an upper hand in the contest. The Alliance Wednesday retreated for a parliamentary group meeting that unanimously agreed to front Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula for National Assembly Speaker. Uasin Gishu Woman Representative Gladys Boshole has also been fronted to run for the Deputy Speaker position.
I want to assure you, honorable members, that I'll be your diligent servant. I'll use my long experience to mentor those who are ready to be mentored into leadership. I'll be available to guide those who want to be guided on good debating skills.
And again, I want to say thank you to Your Excellency, the President, and the Deputy President, and also all the principals of the Kenya Kwanza team who found it fit to approve my nomination for the election as Deputy Speaker, sorry, now I'm getting confused, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly.
In the Senate, immediate former Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi, who is the Pamoja Africa Alliance party leader, has been fronted for the Senate Speaker position and will be deputized by Meru Senator Kathuri Murungi.
Some of us are going to the executive does not mean that we lose sight of what is unifying us, the agenda that we give to the Republic.
I really first want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me even that opportunity to appear in the ballot as the Deputy Speaker, Senate.
While the remaining positions, including Majority Leader and Majority Chief Whip and their deputy positions, are also being negotiated, Kikuyu MP Kimani Ichung'wah is a front-runner for the Majority Leader position in the National Assembly, deputized by Kilifi North MP Owen Baya. South Mugirango MP Silvana Sosoro is the favourite for the position of Majority Whip in the National Assembly.
Part of the job that I have, and I have told my good brother and Deputy Rigathi Gachagua and the leaders here, part of the job we have is to mentor the younger people. Yeah? The new leaders.
The election of the speakers and their deputies will be held immediately after the swearing in of the newly elected members of parliament.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has rallied Azimio la Umoja One coalition legislators to stand as a team to ensure they capture the speaker's seats in both houses of parliament. Uhuru, who is the Azimio chair, on Wednesday held a meeting with the coalition's elected members of parliament and senators to deliberate on how the coalition party would strategize to secure the speaker seats.
The National Assembly and the Senate will on Thursday be the center of focus when President-elect William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza Alliance face off with the Azimio One Kenya coalition in the battle for the speaker's seats. President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the Azimio One Kenya coalition leader, rallying elected members in the coalition to stand as one and deliver the victory. The Azimio coalition has resolved to front Kenneth Marende as their sole candidate for the Speaker of the National Assembly seat and to be deputized by Dadaab Member of Parliament-elect Farah Maalim.
Have resolved as Azimio coalition group that we have Mheshimiwa Marende, Kenneth Marende, as a candidate for the speakership of the National Assembly, to be deputized by Mheshimiwa Farah Maalim.
In a meeting, the coalition said it decided to front candidates who were tried and tested. The coalition fronting Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka for the Senate Speaker seat. Leaders present assuring their supporters that they will remain and stand with Azimio coalition.
We will support those who have been appointed from Marende and team, Kalonzo and team, when they go to seek the leadership of the National Assembly and the Senate.
Let me assure Kenyans that the Azimio coalition is standing firm and it will take the leadership of the National Assembly and also the Senate.
The leaders hitting at members who have decamped to join Kenya Kwanza as dishonest.
Yes, none of us is available for sale. We will do our duty. We will do our duty to the people who elected us. We will remain faithful to the people who gave us votes under the Azimio coalition. And in fact, we want to condemn this culture of purchasing leaders for purposes of political ends.
I wanted to explain why she thinks she should be in front of me.
Now let's just focus on the aftermath of the elections and the Supreme Court specifically, because Chief Justice Martha Koome has attributed the Supreme Court ruling that upheld William Ruto's win in the August 9th presidential election as guided by God. Speaking in her home village in Meru, the Chief Justice said the ruling pointed at an independent judiciary and good governance.
As a consequence, we declare the election of the first respondent as President-elect to be varied under Article 143 of the Constitution.
Being respected now, not only in the region, but in the entire Africa, and even the whole world, to say they are looking upon Kenya for leadership and also for independent institutions, especially the institution of the judiciary. This is not because of my power, this is not because of my might, this is because of the faithful God that we serve.
Chief Justice there, Martha Koome, for God and for country. Now, President-elect William Ruto has revealed that he has finally had a conversation with outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta after months of zero engagement. Ruto says the conversation centered on the just concluded elections and the envisaged transition.
During his victory speech after the Supreme Court decision upholding his win on Monday, the president-elect revealed that he was going to call the outgoing president to discuss transition.
I haven't talked to him in months. But shortly I will bring a call to him so that we can have a conversation on the process of transition. I take no offense at all that he decided to choose and support somebody else.
And immediately after the speech on Monday, President Uhuru Kenyatta, while addressing the nation in a recorded video, faulted the Supreme Court over what he termed as incoherence in the past judgments, urging Kenyans to be vigilant and always hold their leaders to account.
Whether the truth given by institutions has correspondence. That is, do the truths given by our institutions correspond with what is observable by the citizen?
Wednesday morning, the president-elect revealed that they had a conversation with President Kenyatta after months of no talk. The talks, according to Ruto, centered on the just concluded elections and the transition from the 4th to the 5th administration.
Let's focus on the events of next Tuesday. The Kenya Kwanza team tasked with planning the swearing-in ceremony of President-elect William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua at the Kasarani Stadium have lauded the ongoing preparations, saying it was so far satisfactory. Maendeleo Chop Chop party leader Alfred Mutua, who was part of a team that undertook an inspection tour of the facility on Wednesday, said the progress was impressive. Mutua said the visit was to ensure that the stadium meets the international standards and that Kenya Kwanza desires the event to be flawless.
Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, Wednesday. Preparations to the swearing-in ceremony of President-elect William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua in top gear. The media, sound system operators, a section of cabinet secretaries and representatives from the assumption of the office of the President Committee touring facilities to oversee the preparations. The military fine-tuning their drills, complete with the 21-gun salute. The honor to usher in the new Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces into office. Maendeleo Chap Chap leader Dr. Alfred Mutua, who is one of Kenya Kwanza's representative in the assumption of the office of the President Committee, says a few changes have been made from initial plan by the committee to comfortably accommodate each and every Kenyan Tuesday.
Want this event to send the right message to Kenyans that we are ready to work. And so far, we've walked around with the senior officials here and we are very happy with what we've seen. And that's what we want to do. Have this inauguration, have a good time, but then we get back to work. We don't want to waste a lot of time.
Mutua says the incoming government will deliver its promises to the country.
Every person who will come to this stadium is a VIP. So the toilets that they use, the seats they sit on, the places they go will need to be VIP standards.
When President-elect William Ruto will take oath of office, his flag will be hoisted as that of the sitting president, Uhuru Kenyatta, is lowered. The Kenyan flag and that of the East African community remaining raised. Besides the taking of oath by President-elect and his deputy, Tuesday, the firing of 21 gun salutes are expected to be among the key highlights as the swearing-in ceremony takes place here at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. The assumption of office of the president confirms that all preparations to Tuesday's event will be set by Saturday. Irene Mchuma Odim, Channel 1 in the county of Nairobi.
And just like you have counted on us to give you exclusive coverage into some of us 2 days, even on Tuesday, you're ready and gearing up for that. They will be giving exclusive shots from Kasarani, but we'll start with tomorrow, right?
Indeed. But for now, we take a quick break. We'll be right back.
All right.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya joking kwa simu yako, bonyeza *811 *758 hash.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Kipto.
Now I want to try the composition using the word jogging.
Teacher, please give us spelling for the word jogging.
Sijasema jog ile jog ya kunyongwa. Hapana. Ninasema jogging. Na sijasema jog ile nye unasema jog ya kukimbia ya marathon. Ama ile jog ingine ile jog ya television ya kucheka. Sijasema hiyo jogging. Na maanisha jogging ya brain ile kukimbiza akili ya changamoto. That's the composition using the word jogging.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii, bonyeza *811 *758 hash *811 *758 hash.
Ukiniangalia mimi ni mtu kununua second hand.
You look second hand yourself right now.
Mimi nakaondieka. Niangalie hivi, nakaondieka.
Not with those. Maybe with the tummy. No.
But Tosha.
Huyu hata tujuani. Do you know me?
Arre baba.
We don't know each other.
Iko flying lines hapo.
When husband ama ni houseboy. Nini wewe inakusumbua?
Wako ha?
Yes.
Jambo.
Fine, thank you. Oh my God. No. Let me talk the truth and accept the devil, please. Please.
Babyface.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like that. Yes.
Babyface.
Yeah.
Ulionaje kazi yangu? Skills zangu za uzaji zikoaje?
You are excellent.
Wewe mzee. Hatuko hapa mchezo.
Ni kweli hata nani.
Sasa ukisha si uongee vile unaongea.
I don't care if I have to pay her salary from my own pocket, but the first step is for her to work at this hotel.
No. No. Forgive me, but we can't do this.
Are you mad at me now? Madam, I swear that I tried to ruin the food my grandma made, but she came in and almost got me.
Valentina, what happened to you now?
Good evening. This is Prime Edition. Now 7 candidates will face off for the position of Speaker of the Senate. The 7 from a pool of 28 met the requirements of the Article 106 of the Constitution. Meru Senator-elect Murungi Gathuri will face off with Kilifi Senator Stuart Madzayo for the position of Deputy Speaker in the Senate.
By close of the nomination period for the Senate Speaker's position, 7 candidates qualified to the ballot that will be cast Thursday after senators are sworn in. The 7 include Aluchir Isaac Aluoch, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, George Bush, Amason Jeffa Kingi, Kenyo Beatrice, Karori Frederick, and Kioria George. The winner will be determined at a secret ballot by 67 senators.
So the senators will have to make the decisions tomorrow. It's a very important decision. And of course, we'll be talking to some of them if we can. So the only thing I could add is perhaps an occasion for national reflection, bridge building if we can. I think that is the work of the Senate. So I leave it to that. Thank you. Thank you.
Meru Senator-elect Murungi Kathuri and Kilifi Senator-elect Stewart Mazayo are the only candidates cleared for the position of Deputy Speaker Senate.
I've been a senator now 3 terms, so this is my 3rd term. So there's no, I mean, we know one another, and they know me very well. For those ones who have been together for 10 years, they know me as a person. They know me as a senator. What kind of senator I am, and I believe I can deliver.
In the National Assembly, at least 8 candidates had returned nomination papers for the Speaker of National Assembly out of 37 who expressed interest for the 3rd in command position.
I take this opportunity to urge all members of Parliament who will be the first tomorrow to exercise their due diligence and discretion and vote for yours truly.
Dadaab MP-elect Farah Maalim wishes to serve again as Deputy Speaker National Assembly, but will have to face off with Uasin Gishu County Woman Representative Gladys Boss Sholei. Gishoke Washira, Prime Edition.
And like I promised you, giving you an exclusive coverage of the Parliament, of course, in its inaugural sitting tomorrow. And at least 30 members elect of the Senate, including nominated senators, are on Wednesday taken through operations of Parliament ahead of a first sitting scheduled for Thursday 8th. The senators who expressed confidence that the 13th Parliament will perform well said a committee for oversight remains central in their agenda to ease their role in oversighting counties.
A day before the first sitting of the 13th Parliament, senators-elect Wednesday trooped to the Parliament buildings for a pre-swearing-in session.
Various desks for special categories of senators. We have a desk for youth, senators who are youth, so that we give them special attention to orient them, to induct them, to settle them, and also to help them in their work. We also have a Senate desk for women senators.
By close of business Wednesday, at least 30 senators-elect and nominated senators had been registered and submitted their biodata, as well as briefed by the Office of the Clerk on essential legislative matters. Among the newcomers in the Senate are 2 former governors, Mandera's Ali Roba and his Uasin Gishu counterpart Jackson Mandago. The senators vowing to end the issue of delayed funds to county governments.
Tumekuwa na matatizo katika Treasury ile kuwasilisha pesa za county kwa wakati, na mimi nataka kutumia nafasi yangu katika bunge la Seneti kuona vile tunaweza boresha mambo ya ukatuzi, hasa kuhakikisha fedha za ukatuzi inafika kwa wakati.
We will be happy to join our colleagues who have been here with better experience to see how we can add our experience of devolution from the ground and then come to legislation and find how that can be strengthened. That is the drive.
Other new members, including Okia Omtata of Busia and Tabitha Karanja of Nakuru County, hope to bring new ideas and legislation for various groups.
Coming from the business world, there's a lot of decisions I know I'm going to push to ensure that doing business in this country, we easy doing business in this country.
Well, one of the things I want to really address is to enact proper legislation on impeachment of governors. I feel governors are heavily exposed and the impeachment structure is not airtight. it allows for a lot of political machinations and witch hunting.
With the Senate bestowed with the role of oversight of county functions, seasoned members who have been re-elected say lack of oversight funds remains the hurdle in implementing their mandate.
We use our salaries to go around in the county, so we feel like we have been pulled back. So what we're looking forward is we are going to push for oversight fund so that we can do our duty diligently and effectively.
We also have a lot of stored projects in Machakos. And you know, when before you start a project, you definitely have money for that project. So where does this money go? I mean, if as senators we had kit to be able to do the oversight properly, maybe some of these projects could not be stored because we could be on the ground at the right time when we should be.
The induction is expected to spill over to Thursday for members who failed to show up Wednesday. The swearing-in ceremony will take place Thursday in the first sitting. Kamche Menza for Prime Edition.
And we will indeed be live on ground. Now, President-elect William Ruto says his administration will seek to streamline the law to accommodate the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, after the Supreme Court impunged the CDF Act days to the general election. Ruto says CDF has been a key component in the furtherance of the national government's development agenda. The President-elect has also promised to enhance the kitty allocated to the county women representatives.
The elected President of the Republic of Kenya. That leaders can inform you of what wananchi are saying.
Msikuwe na wasiwasi kwamba pengine CDF itapotea, haitapotea. Tutafanya kazi pamoja na nyinyi kwa sababu not because of any other reason, but because CDF has really given us value for money in many areas. To our lady members of parliament, especially the women reps, I worked with your former colleagues. We established the small fund that is there. We will be entertaining a discussion on how that fund can be enhanced.
To some sad news now, fishing expedition by a group of youth in Lake Naivasha ended tragically after one of them died and a second went missing under unclear circumstances. The incident sparked demonstrations in Naivasha town, with residents claiming foul play by the Kenya Coast Guard Services officers.
Business in Naivasha town was temporarily paralyzed as riot police engaged angry youths protesting the killing and disappearance of their colleague while in fishing expedition. The irate youths who had barricaded part of Naivasha Maimai Road accused the Coast Guard Service officers of drowning the two who are illegally fishing near Kihoto Estate.
Tuko na makasiriko sana kwa sababu ya kifo wa mwenzetu ambaye amekufa, ambaye ni wa 7 katika bahari yetu ya Naivasha. Na sisi kama wakaaji wa Naivasha hatutakubali kifo kingine ifanyike kwa sababu ya Coast Guard. Fisheries walipokuwa hapa Naivasha, lake yetu ilikuwa mzuri sana, hakuna kifo ilikuwa inapatikana. Kwa hivyo sisi kama wakaaji wa Naivasha tumekasirika sana kwa sababu unakuta yule mtu ambaye anaenda kujitafutia riziki ndio anapigwa risasi.
Mtu ako na watoto anaitwa baba, ni mtoto wa mtu, ni mzee wa mtu. For sure watu wote wame lose from the word fish. It's so painful. Iangaliwe, hata kama wanasema iangaliwe na ihakikishwe hiyo jambo haitajirudia tena within Naivasha.
Mama afanyiwe haki. Huu ni mtoto wa pili kuliwa nao ma Coast Guard. Na vijana wawili wameuriwa. Na vijana waliamua kuchenja, wataki kuiba, wanataka kujifanyia kazi yao na mikono.
The security team was however quick to deny the allegations, noting that their patrol boat was no longer operational for the last 1 month after it broke down. During the latest incident, business around the town was temporarily paralyzed as riot police engaged the youths in running battles before collecting the body and taking it to the local mortuary. In another development, the body of a 70-year-old woman from Kiramahiga village in Mathioya, Muranga, who was buried in a shallow grave by her son after killing her, has been exhumed. The exercise conducted on Wednesday morning was led by officers from the homicide department under the supervision of public officers. Joyce Wanjiru is believed to have been murdered in cold blood by her 45-year-old son, who is said to be mentally unstable. The suspect, Samuel Mukiria, who is in police custody, confessed to have committed the heinous act on Friday after being confronted by the members of public.
Huyu kijana ambaye aliua mama yake, inasemekana ya kwamba ni kama alikuwa na shida ya kiakili. Tungeomba watu kama hao wawe wanashughulikiwa mapema kwa ajili ya kuzuilia jambo kama hili kufanyika kama vile imefanyika siku ya leo.
Hatujawahi sikia kisa kama hii area hii, na ningeomba wale ambao wako na watu ambao wanaona kama wanaweza kuwa na shida ya kiakili wanaripoti kwa sisi ama kwa polisi, ili wao watu wanajaribu kushukuriwa na kuhojiwa ili tuzuie mambo mengine kufanyika.
Opisho Chemtai for Prime Edition.
Quite sad there. Now on to matters education, where Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says he is proud of what he is leaving behind as he exits the Ministry of Education. Professor Magoha says he will be leaving behind an education system that is more vibrant and responsive to the 21st century needs of the Kenyan children.
Professor Magoha, who has been actively involved in overseeing the construction of 10,000 new CBC classrooms across the country that will accommodate learners under the new system of education, said he is proud of the strides made by the education sector, especially in the realization of the competency-based curriculum.
That the classrooms are going to be there, whether the incoming administration decides to tweak the competency-based curriculum or not. This is money that is well spent. Each classroom is at 78,000 shillings. That is the message that I want the nation to know, and the public to hold the next leaders responsible to ensure that we get value for money for our children.
Professor Magoha, who termed the bureaucratic red tape in government as his biggest challenge during his time as Education CS, challenged the new administration to change how things are done by focusing on getting results.
They must change the way they do things. Government must change the way it does business if it wants to get different results. You cannot expect different results if you are going to do things in exactly the same way you have been doing them.
The CS, who appears to be hands-on in his work, said the new Education Cabinet Secretary must not sit in the office and rely on reports from field officers.
Whoever becomes the Cabinet Secretary for Education in 2022, the work is not in Jogo House. The work is outside there. If you dare rely on information you are getting from Jogo House, you will be cooked and you will let down the incoming president.
The CS, who was commissioning CBC classroom at Ushirika Secondary School in Dandora, said the new administration will have an easy time in ensuring the grade 6 learners have a smooth transition to junior secondary school in January 2023, noting that the remaining less than 3% construction of classrooms across the country will be done by Monday 12th ahead of the incoming administration on the 13th.
If there are issues that require to be adjusted, mine is basically to ask the incoming administration to ensure that the children come first.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says he exits the stage as a proud man who has ensured the children of Kenya have a vibrant education system. Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Prime Edition.
Very an interesting story here. Mathematics teacher who taught Kapsaret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi at, this is a mouthful, Tulwopoeng, and that is Tulwopongetuni Primary School, told a court Tuesday that the embattled legislator attended that school for only 2 years. Simon Cherop, who was Sudi's class 6 teacher, was testifying in a case questioning the MP's academic credentials.
On Wednesday morning, the Kapsaret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi failed to appear in court for a hearing on the forgery of academic papers case. Through his lawyers George Wajakoya, Thomas Ruto and Collins Kiprono, Sudi asked the court to allow the case to continue in his absentia as he is part of the Assumption of Office Committee of the President-elect, William Ruto, and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua.
It is our humble application that we proceed in the absence of the accused person. And we will take the direction subsequently on. So we beseech the court to allow the accused person's attendance to be dispensed with for today's hearing. For the same reasons, noting sitting in this very sensitive committee.
With the hearing allowed to continue before Chief Magistrate Felix Kombo, Oscar Sudi's Class 6 mathematics teacher Simon Cherop at Tulupengetuni Primary School will tell the court that the legislator attended the said school for only 2 years.
Is it the same pupil who has been coming to court? Is it the same as Oscar Sudi?
Yes, it is. It's the same, but the names are just a change.
But it's the same person?
The same person, yeah.
Two more witnesses, including a document examiner and an investigating officer, are expected to testify. The hearing has been adjourned to the 22nd of November 2022. Elsewhere, Orange Democratic Movement gubernatorial candidate in Narok County Moitalel Ole Kenta has moved to court to challenge the wins of UDA's Patrick Olentutu, citing electoral malpractice. The former Labour CAS defeated Ole Kenta by garnering 158,100 votes against 148,270 votes. Abdulkhair Mohammed for Prime Edition.
She'll tell you exactly how to save Lady Lily. Please do this, Your Highness. Please go and speak with my lady.
I won't lie to you. Who could dare lie to the future Heavenly King? You'll need the Lantern of Souls.
Where's the Lantern of Souls?
The lantern? Isn't it at your residence?
Where is it?
Right? I just don't like the man you're turning out to be.
Nafikiri nilishatangulia kusema sijui Jackie alipo.
Nakwambia nitahakikisha hapa unakaa bila amani wewe.
Sawa Komo, nimejitia kitanzi lakini wewe ndio utakayekufa.
Mbona umetutumia messages za kutatiza?
Kwa sababu nilikuwa na wahitaji nyote mwe hapa. Unajua leo ni siku muhimu sana kwa hii familia, especially to your dad.
Wanjo, he's your brother-in-law.
Na kuibia?
You and Oyune will pay.
A touch of elegance to your stunning style.
Trusting Nick is going to be a problem.
Did she suspect anything?
Lazima.
Next time we change the venue.
I can see you went on a shopping spree.
Life is too short, honey.
To spend all your money on knockoffs.
Is that what you said to your mother?
Sorry, that came out the wrong way.
Balls have ears, you know.
Help me understand how you want me to help you.
Help me to what?
This is still a Prime Edition on KBC Channel 1. Now we speak film and we are focusing on matters sports and soccer. Now, when his football dreams came crushing, a super talented footballer and an orphan with a sick sister to take care of is left with no choice but to join the world of crime. All this in the movie Click Click Bang, which is Jacqueline Mashari now reviews for a weekly segment, Cinemas and Theatre.
The film Click Click Bang follows Kev, a super talented footballer.
And that is why he was my top pick for the strikers representing the Kenyan team in Norway.
Who, due to circumstances, finds himself engulfed in the criminal world. He is forced to join Kasisi, a ringleader of criminal gang in the neighborhood, to make ends meet to help his ailing sister, who is on a weekly dialysis program.
Our theme for Click Click Bang was really friendship, and we had several themes. So friendship was one of them. Corruption and how broken systems in the community actually lead or push people to crime.
Directed by Philip Karanja, Click Click Bang was a story that was narrated before by his co-founder Abel Mutua for his YouTube channel, and thereafter voted to be done as a film by the audience.
It's a story that people have watched thousands of times, hundreds of times on Abel's YouTube channel, so I didn't have the element of surprise. How am I going to entertain these people for 2.5 hours? And people are loving it, so I feel, hey, can director and score.
The film stars Basil Mungai, Nyakundi Isaboke, Aida Alisha, Shigwan Shiko, and Jackie Vike, among others. The character Mamushka is played by Shigwan Shiko and Kasisi by Nyakundi Isaboke.
First, haikuwa easy because mimi nimezoea kwa movie zote nimefanya show mingi nimedu, sikuwa napata roles kubwa. Mamushka alinipush kunitoa kwa comfort zone.
Play your role ilikuwa amazing cause nimeona makasisi wengi, and interpreting the role and doing research for it and creating the psychology behind the role was not hard because I could easily pick from the environment which I grew up.
Coaches nimetolewa nyama kwa mdomo. Kwenda huko. Mimi nimeondokea.
Scene amazing yenye naweza sema ile ni bamba ni scene yenye nilikuwa nakataza Kevo kuingia kwa hiyo life ya Utegenya na dai kudu, kwa sababu at the end of the day ni scene yenye iko na morality to it.
I was very emotional when Kasisi died. It was my favorite because mimi tangu nianze ku act 2015 mimi sijawai niliona it was like a roller coaster of emotions kwangu, and ilinifungua tu.
Filmed in Nairobi City, the film focused on using the language Sheng in a bid to bring authenticity to the film. And as the director observes, the film has also made an impact in the Kenyan film industry.
I will say the one thing that we are really championing in the film industry is the economic aspect. With Click Click Bang, we to a point where we've broken even now, and what we're trying to push into is to ingia region ya profits. Naweza sema that's where Click Click Bang is championing the film industry.
Click Click Bang yenyewe naweza sema yenyewe ime support over 300 people wenye walikuwa kama cast, extras, wasiwa production. Basically watu walikuwa involved in making of Click Click Bang over 300 people. Naona kwa industry inafundisha wase it can open doors to more. Wase wache kuogopa kuinvest kwa film.
This is weird, but imagine me sitakujaji.
The film premiered on the cinemas on the 15th of July 2022 and has since received a positive response from its audience.
Culture kwenda kwa film ilikuanga, but I think as filmmakers we never kept up with the demand, and so slowly the culture died. But now I'm seeing a resurgence, and people now want to go to theaters to watch Kenyan films. So I think it's a beautiful time to be a filmmaker in this country.
Unaweza kuaudition fiti sana kwa kikosi yako.
Just go to www.philittv.com. PHILITTV.com. It's only 250 shillings. It's a straightforward process. I do have to warn you though, the link is only watchable on one device.
Jacqueline Masharia for Cinemas and Theatre.
$250 there you can support raw Kenyan talents. Now let's cross over to the business world with none other than Caroline Jenga.
Good evening too. Thank you, Regina, Manyara. And tonight we'll be looking at various stories. We'll be looking at Kenya Pipeline planning to construct another pipeline between Mombasa and Nairobi within the next 2 years. That and more after this. Well, let's kick it off. My director is telling me to continue with today's business news. And the August polls disrupted business activity with output and new orders in private businesses, with business confidence dropping to a 16-month low. This is according to the latest market Stanbic Bank Kenya Purchasing Managers Index that reveals that in August there was a renewed drop in employment. Take a look.
The market Stanbic Bank Kenya Purchasing Managers Index PMI remained below the 50.0 no change mark for the fifth successful month, falling to a reading of 44.2 from a reading of 46.3 in July. The report indicates that the general election had a notable toll on economic activity in August after output fell steeply and at the quickest pace for 16 months, with the construction and manufacturing sectors registering the greatest decline. In addition, new business inflows fell at a sharp and accelerated pace, with the general election, rising inflation and cash flow challenges reportedly leading to a sustained drop in client orders. According to the report, businesses noted that higher prices had forced customers to rein in on spending. Sales continued to decline in all 5 main sectors covered by the survey, with construction recording the sharpest downturn. Election-linked disruption meant that some vendors were unable to deliver inputs. Businesses made fewer purchases of inputs due to deteriorating sales, while inventories were cut for the first time since January amid efforts to avoid dead stock. The sustained fall in demand forced private sector companies to readjust their input purchases, with the overall procurement levels falling for the 4th month running in August, declining to a level last witnessed in April last year. The report indicates that 10% of respondents from the private sector businesses gave a positive forecast for output over the next 12 months amid fears that the inflation-driven downturn in the economy will continue. As such, the outlook was the 3rd worst on record, behind those seen in April and May. With sales dropping and the outlook remaining weak, staff numbers were lowered for the 3rd time in the past 4 months in August, according to the report. Regina Manyara reporting for Prime Edition.
Now, the Kenya Pipeline Company plans to construct another pipeline between Mombasa and Nairobi within 2 years. This is in addition to enhancing the fuel storage capacity and upgrading of pipelines in the eastern and western region at a cost of 30 billion shillings. The Kenya Pipeline Company says the proposed tariff hike by 13% is meant to cover such costs. The Kenya Pipeline Company says with the existing infrastructure, it is experiencing challenges and the current capacity cannot meet demand for petroleum products for the EAC region.
We service both the local market and the export markets of mainly Rwanda and DRC and South Sudan. There has been extreme competition for product supply in the system to meet what it is that you would want for your manufacturing, for your cars, for your homes, and all the other needs that you use petroleum for.
This saw the Kenya Pipeline Company in July make a tariff application to increase the transport, storage and handling cost by 46 cents per cubic meter per kilometer to 5 shillings and 7 cents per cubic meter per kilometer.
Now, when you look at the composite tariff, we are asking for a tariff adjustment from 4.61 Kenya shillings per cubic meter per kilometer, and asking for a 13% adjustment to 5.22 Kenya shillings per cubic meter per kilometer. That is a 13% growth. Thereafter, it will grow by 6% to 5.53, and then start dropping to 5.50 Kenya shillings per cubic meter per kilometer.
If adopted, the new tariff would be applicable over the next 3 years. The Kenya Pipeline Company says the increased cost is to cover investment in a new pipeline between the Mombasa and Nairobi, as well as upgrading some of the existing facilities to enhance service delivery.
currently and urgently need to pump more product from, I know you know about the new jetty in the marine jetty in Mombasa. It will now receive product into the shores of the tanks that are in Mombasa at a bigger flow rate, at about 4,000 meter cube per hour. Then they come into this one pipeline that can only flow at about 1,000 cubes per hour. You can then not do any more than that because that's the installed capacity in terms of engineering terms. So we then need to create another line that can receive more product and flow at a faster rate.
KPC's transportation and bulk services are integral to the actualization of the security of supply for petroleum products in this country. It is therefore imperative that this infrastructure is kept at the highest possible standards at all times. It is our role as the regulator to ensure that there is a balance between the maintaining high levels of quality and efficiency in this sector and keeping the prices of the final product within the reach of ordinary citizens.
The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority has been conducting a stakeholders engagement on the tariff hike proposal by Kenya Pipeline Company.
Child Fund has launched a 3-year multi-million shilling campaign to ensure the safety of children online in Kenya, as studies indicate rising trends of abuse in the digital space targeting students. The Safe Community Linkages for Internet Child Safety Project plans to spend 120 million shillings to keep about 200,000 children safe from online predators.
The COVID-19 pandemic increased automation, with most providers moving their services online, including education. This exacerbated children's exposure to cyber risks, as most of them were engaged in online schooling, recreation, and social connection. Data shows that online sexual abuse of children has increased by 422% over the last 15 years, with an alarming uptick in recent years, particularly since the pandemic began. This has prompted Child Fund to set up an initiative to strengthen the national infrastructure for child online protection.
What we have done as a government is that we have put a national plan of action to address issues of online child abuse. We have also established a department that is fully fledged to deal with issues of online child abuse.
Even though children are at a greater risk of encountering online predators, only 24% of online sexual abuse cases are reported.
We've been working already in our different capacities on child protection issues, but this time round we will use the lens of online child safety, and thankfully we now have in place an enabling environment, the Children's Bill, that is also intentional and specific on protecting children online, and we will work to increase awareness.
The initiative by Child Fund focuses on enhancing the safety of children online in Nairobi and Mombasa, which are said to be the online child sexual exploitation and abuse hotspots. Ndusamo Kami for Prime Edition.
Now, Britain is banking on a rebound of the commercial and hospitality industry as the economy recovers, buoyed by tourism and a return to normalcy. Britain Finance Director Charles Njuguna says the firm expects to hit 90% occupancy levels for its property portfolio as economic activities pick up. The firm saw its half-year pre-tax profit increasing 60% to 1.04 billion shillings.
According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, KNBS, Kenya's real estate contributed 9.1% to the gross domestic product in the year 2020. This, coupled with double-digit returns for investors in both rental and property for sale, has made it lucrative for investors. However, external shocks and general election jitters affected demand, but experts say that this has eased after the electioneering period with a positive business outlook.
In terms of the property space, I think we're quite bullish around that, given that for this particular tower we have an 82% occupancy level. Brigham Center, which is right next to us, we have an 85% occupancy level, and we have a healthy pipeline to ensure that by the end of this year we're in excess of 90%. So we're quite bullish. This is a grade A building, again very appealing to the clients that you're targeting. So we don't see any risk coming from low occupancy.
The latest report by Stanbic Public Bank Kenya indicates that this year's general election disrupted business activities, with business confidence dropping to a 16-month low. Despite this, Britam is optimistic that the economy will swiftly pick up, with occupancy rates at its properties, both residential, commercial and hotels, significantly rising.
Long-term solution of investment income volatility is a very well diversified investment portfolio, because you and I do not know what the market forces, even for the rest of the year, will be. They can be positive variance or negative variance.
I think on the apartments, as I did mention, we've been able to onboard a very strong operator for that business, and we do believe that given their experience, and within 4 months of operation, we're in excess of 50%. So that can only get better as we progress through the year.
This comes on the back of the company reporting a pre-tax profit of 1.04 billion shillings during the first 6 months of this year, representing a 60% growth on 650 million shillings the firm posted during a similar period last year. Alanauko, Prime Edition.
Now, that story brings to a close business news for tonight. But on the other end of the studio, we have Richard Munger with the sports update. As for me, good night. Let's see you tomorrow.
Songea tukupashe na zile ambavyo vitakupa tabasamu tosha.
Hana mapenzi wala mahaba, mtoto mbaya sana huyu.
What did you just say? Sio tamthilia tu.
And why you're saying that
Ni tamthilia tosha.
Alinishika hivi. What?
Sio burudani tu, ni burudani tosha.
It is the day that the Lord has made.
Na sinema bomba.
Kabisa kama uelewi kitu inafaa uelewe.
Na mada za kusisimua. KBC Channel 1, shirika la utangazaji Kenya.
Oh, good evening. My name is Richard Munga with the latest in the world of sports. And in our top story tonight, Kenya Ports Authority opposite attacker Enoch Mogeni has officially joined Japanese volleyball side Oita Miyoshi. Meanwhile, reigning FKF Premier League champions Tusker FC have strengthened their squad with 7 additional signings ahead of the 2022-2023 FKF Premier League season.
Mogeni joins a list of Kenyan internationals who have played for the Japanese outfit, including Prisons Kenya assistant coach David Mokua, James Ontere and Philip Mayo. Meanwhile, reigning FKF Premier League champions Tusker FC have strengthened their squad with 7 additional signings ahead of the 2022-2023 FKF Premier League season. The club has secured the services of defenders Boniface Nyango and Thomas Teka from Kariobangi Sharks as it seeks to strengthen its backline. In the midfield department, the club has signed Eric Mata from Kariobangi Sharks and the 18-year-old Green Commando Sports Club midfielder David Odoyo, while the attack has seen the arrival of Eric Otieno from Wazito FC. Elsewhere, Dennis Mara will once again lead a team of 4 who will be participating in the upcoming All-African Golf Team Championships set to be held from 25th to 31st this month in Egypt. The team is comprised of team captain Dennis Mara of Limuru County Club, John Lejima of Railway Golf Club, Adel Balala of Nyali Golf Club, and Michael Okaraga of Kiambu Golf Club. The team has been training under the national junior coach John Van ahead of the championship, which has attracted a total of 15 countries, including South Africa, Uganda, Tanzania, Zambia, Morocco, and Ghana, among others. For Prime Edition Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Well, Kenyan Premier League clubs, of course, are strengthening abroad. It seems some have started the season on a terrible season, which brings us to Mart's Champions League, whereby Chelsea have sacked manager Thomas Tuchel following Tuesday's night's Champions League 1-0 defeat by Dynamo Zagreb. The 49-year-old former Borussia Dortmund and Paris Saint-Germain boss leaves Stamford Bridge after 20 months.
Tuchel was appointed on 26th of January 2021, replacing Frank Lampard, and guided the club to their second Champions League title just 4 months later. He went on to earn the UEFA Super Cup and FIFA World Cup later that year. Chelsea had fallen from being top of the Premier League at the start of December 2020 to 8th before Lampard's departure in January 2021, out of the title race and in danger of missing out on a Champions League spot. Tuchel drew his first match in charge at home to Wolves, but won his next 4, eventually going unbeaten in his first 13 league games, a record for a new Chelsea manager. He secured a 4th finish at that term, pipping Leicester to the final Champions League place on the final day, despite defeat by Aston Villa. Chelsea went on to beat Manchester City in the 2021 Champions League final in Porto, as Tuchel repeated the fate of Roberto Di Matteo, who led Chelsea to the 2012 Champions League title after taking charge midway through the season. Owner Todd Bowley has placed Tuchel coaching staff in temporary charge until a replacement is found.
Some good news, obviously, for John Jacob Kioria. Meanwhile, Erling Haaland scored a brace as Manchester City opened their Champions League campaign by thrashing Sevilla 4-0. Elsewhere, Kylian Mbappe's brace gave Paris Saint-Germain a 2-1 victory over Juventus, while Chelsea, once again lost 1-0 to Dynamo Zagreb.
Cancelo. Manchester City's new signing Erling Haaland scored a brace to lead City to a comfortable 4-0 win over Sevilla.
The goal monster takes his first Champions League bite of the season. Phil Foden with Cancelo for company.
Foden netted in the 58th minute as Ruben Dias scored the 4th goal in extra time.
Trying to get out of a tight spot. Could shift it onto Grealish. Goes for goal instead. And finds it in spectacular fashion.
On by Valverde and Real Madrid.
Celtic were ultimately outclassed by Luka Modric and Ed. Mbappe brilliantly volleyed in in other matches. Chelsea lost 1-0 to Dynamo Zagreb. Ukraine side Shakhtar Donetsk secured a memorable 4-1 victory over German. Today, Inter Milan will battle out Bundesliga reigning champions Bayern Munich at San Siro Stadium in Milan. Milan striker Romelu Lukaku and left-back Dalbat will miss out as a result of injuries. Bayern Munich will have to play without Serge Gnabry, Mathis Delight and Jamal Musiala, who are out on injuries. Other matches on card tonight: Napoli will play Liverpool, Tottenham will host Marseille, Atletico Madrid will take on FC Porto, Barcelona will welcome Victoria Plzen, while Club Brugge hosts Bayern Leverkusen. Frederick Oluete for Channel 1 Sports.
Well, thank you, Frederick, for that. And just an update, there are 2 earlier matches played. We had Rangers, of course, playing away to Dutch side Ajax Amsterdam. Ajax won that match 4-0, while Sporting Lisbon of Portugal beat German side Eintracht Frankfurt 3-0. Well, that's it for Sports Tonight, but be sure to tune into our subsequent bulletins for more sports updates. I'm Richard Munga. Do have a good night. For now, I hand you over back to Regina Manyara and John Jacob Tuchel.
Now, before I think you guys are having sporting banter. I just wonder how the game between Liverpool and Napoli that is about to start around 10 is going to end. Maybe Munga, you can let us know.
What do you think? Give us a prediction.
Your prediction.
Okay, Liverpool have not been strong this season, but then again, it's the Champions League, so you might see a totally different side. But then again, Napoli have been on good form this season in the Serie A, so I guess people will have to wait until tomorrow to find out.
Okay, and it's Manchester United saying that Liverpool has not had a good form. But anyway, that's nice, that's good. Obviously, some good news that Thomas Tuchel has been fired from Chelsea. But I have a problem with the framing of Munga's story, that Chelsea once more. hiyo ni uchokozi ya mchana. Anyway, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for the sports. My name is John Jacob Kioria.
And I am...
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go
and
ahead.
I am Regina Manyara.
All right. We're going to leave you in the hands of a very good team that will be bringing you reggae vibes up next. Have yourself a good night.